We went to NCL Atlanta, which was at the Porsche Experience Center, literally right next to the airport, like basically on the runway of the Atlanta airport. Ben and I had press passes. That's Ben from the American Peloton podcast / YouTube show we do on this channel. If you want to hear us really get into the nitty gritty of the race, of the whole NCL season, head over there. This video is more meant to just kind of show behind the scenes and like what it was like to be at the race itself. I was just kind of shooting random footage all day. You can see the Porsche Experience Center. Obviously, Porsche is a luxury brand. It is very bougie, I guess would be the word, upscale, and I think that's indicative of like kind of where this series is headed. After going to this race, I kind of see some logic in like what they're doing that I maybe wasn't seeing before. So this series was originally kind of pitched as more city center, downtown type venues, and the last couple of races have pivoted to venues like this, which are more like purpose-built sports or entertainment venues. And I think there are a few reasons for that. I think one is like the logistics of closing city streets. And I think we said this early on. It's just there are a lot of different things to take into account. Whereas this track is purpose-built for racing. Some of the infrastructure you need, especially for a series like this that requires a pit, is already there. Somewhere like a viewing deck you can see on the left there where people can kind of watch the race is already built in. It's closed off so you can sell tickets and have more of a VIP experience. It sort of takes some of the variables away, and those are already taken care of by a facility that is made to hold events like this. So there are not a ton of people at this race spectator-wise. This is kind of the main spectator area right here. There's another deck and an inside, but this is where most people were congregated because you could see the best from right here. And most of the people here aren't your normal cycling fans. They were here to sort of network and enjoy this VIP experience. There wasn't actually a huge focus on the racing. It was more hanging out, and the racing was kind of going on in the background. As the day went on, Ben and I kept going to areas where we could get close to the track and then having those closed off to us and all of the other media people. So I really didn't get very up close and personal with the racing. We did more hanging out on that deck. I was hoping to get into the pits. We weren't able to get into the pits. Some of that is track rules from the Porsche track. Normally it's car races, so they have rules about where people can and cannot stand so they don't get absolutely blasted by a Porsche going 200 miles an hour. So here's my take on what's going on here, and this is not really a judgment on whether it's going to work either way, more of just an assessment of like the shift that has been made from that downtown city center to these types of venues. And I was hearing that there's going to be a mix of the two next year, so maybe there's a balance, but it seems like they are trying to put the focus on premiumization for the in-person experience. Rather than trying to get huge crowds in person for free, they are focusing on getting small crowds of very rich people who will pay money to come to the in-person experience. That's less people you're having to deal with and less logistics around them and more, ROI per person. And while I maybe don't love that from like an egalitarian perspective, one of the things I love about bike racing is that you can just go watch for free generally. I do understand it from a return on investment or like potential growth perspective where they are taking that energy that they're not spending worrying so much about what the experience is like in person for a lot of people, and they can plow that, I hope, into the broadcast product, which there's kind of no ceiling on the broadcast product. That is, I think, how they want people to interact with the league more. From what I was hearing, they want to include more data as things go forward and more sort of like interactive online type experiences. I don't know what that means or looks like, but I think that that's stuff that they see more growth. Anyone can watch it from anywhere in the world, and there's kind of no cap on how big that could get. Whereas there's kind of a natural limit, and it's going to take a lot of time and a lot of resources to improve that in-person experience. Now, having said that, in person, I was there, I had fun. I thought these were the most interesting races of the NCL, and if you want to hear our takes on that, we will be talking about it on the American Peloton. So jump over there, and we're going to do a whole episode where we're pretty much doing a long segment in depth about this NCL Atlanta experience and the racing itself, the tactics, the points changes, all that stuff. So yeah, thanks for checking it out, and we'll see you over there. Let me know if you got any questions about what I saw at NCL that aren't covered here.
Your winners right here in